What's going on, you guys? I just came to talk about 3 books that have changed my life. And what I love about these books is that they fit everyone because everyone has experienced something similar in their life pertaining to these 3 books. So we can all grab some type of value from it. It's not a book where it's so specific that you can't pull nothing from. And the first book is Man's Search for Meaning. This book, I love this book, written by Viktor E. Frankl, survivor of one of the Nazi concentration camps during the Holocaust. And what Viktor came to understand was that people that survived the Holocaust survived because they had a purpose. They were driven by something. They needed to live for this specific reason. And when you apply that to everyone's life, there needs to be something that you feel purpose in or that you find purpose in. Allow that to drive you for success, for anything. But it's just unbelievable that people were that driven that they were willing to withstand all the tortures and horrors that came from these concentration camps. That is amazing. So through this horrific time, you can still pull something from it. You can still pull the positive things from it. In order to overcome and to get through obstacles, you have to have drive. You have to allow that drive to get you through horrible times so that you could see a better future. I love how he took something horrible and found good out of it. The second book on my list is The War of Art. This book, another goodie. It's a really good book. I just love that these books that I'm showing you guys are relatively small. I don't want to put some ginormous books in front of you guys in case you don't read like that, So I wanted to bring some fantastic books that are small and that you can still get a powerful punch from them, even with them not having so many pages. But The War of Art is a phenomenal book. It is a book that talks about getting through creative ruts. We're all creative and we all, somewhat have that itch to express ourselves creatively because it's allowing you to be expressive, and that can be hard sometimes. You can get somewhat like how a writer gets in a writer's block. You can almost get in a creative block to where it's hard for you to think of, creative ideas. It's hard to express yourself creatively. And we end up getting in those type of ruts because of something that's called resistance. And resistance is anything that, creates some type of friction or doesn't allow you to get to where you need to go in an easy way. So procrastination is a form of resistance. Over planning, over buying things, that could be a form of resistance where you want to create a YouTube channel, but you won't shoot any videos because you don't have a professional camera, or you don't have the lighting set up, or you don't have the right mic. Those are all forms of resistance. They're stopping you from doing what you need to do. They're stopping you from expressing yourself creatively. And the book is just about how to get through those blocks of resistance and understanding that this resistance is here, but what particularly is the resistance that's keeping me from doing what I want to do? You have to figure out what that resistance is. What are you afraid of? Why won't you just start? Why won't you just pick up your phone and start making videos? So finding the root cause of your resistance. And once you find the root cause of your resistance, then you can attack that resistance head on, so that you're no longer allowing it to stop you from doing what you need to do or what you want to do. And the third book, I would say, that changed my life in one way or another is Ego is the Enemy. by Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday is one of my favorite authors. I've read about 5 of his books. And this book is just fantastic. It just talks about how we allow the ego to destroy us, how we allow it to take us from our blessings down to having nothing. But a lot of times we don't understand that it's our ego. We don't even recognize it as being ego. If I'm getting into an argument with my partner and we both decide not to talk to each other because we're petty and we're not going to say sorry until the other person says sorry first, that's ego. Both of us are being driven by our ego. And a lot of times we're not conscious that it's our ego, and we do certain things to protect that ego, to not allow that ego to get bruised. But I love just how Ryan breaks down the idea and the concept of ego and allowing us to understand that it's our enemy. It's the reason for most of the negative things that happen in our life. So once you're able to identify your ego and when it's at play, you can then, consciously make decisions against that ego. Understanding that this is your ego speaking, and I don't want to do that because it's going to create a domino effect that's going to lead me down the wrong road. So he helps us with the understanding of situations that your ego is usually in play and how you should be looking at that situation and making a better and sound decision that's not aligned with how you want to really respond. Because we all want to respond in the way in which our body makes us feel. And a lot of times your feelings are being driven by your ego. It also plays a little bit on, stoicism, of course, because he likes to call himself a modern stoic. But stoicism is all about not allowing things that happen in our environment to affect us emotionally to where we make irrational decisions or we have irrational thoughts. So it's just learning to have more control over your emotions and having more control over your ego, so that your ego isn't driving you, but your mind and your logical thinking is what's driving you. But those are some fantastic books that I think everybody should have on their shelves, because we're all gonna face, paralysis sometimes when it comes to creating. Whether it's writing, whether it's designing something, we're all gonna face some type of paralysis to where we hit a wall. We're also always gonna be in a situation where we're in a battle with our ego. And, we're trying to tame that ego to have confidence, but not cockiness. So we're all gonna face that at some point in our lives. And man's search for meaning, we're all gonna face some type of obstacle. We're all always gonna face some type of obstacle in life, and it's about our ability to push through this obstacle, to push through this storm. We're always gonna be facing some type of obstacle in life. So that book just translates to everyone. And that's what I love about it. It's just so translatable. So I always recommend it because I know it's always gonna help somebody out. But I thank you guys for checking out this video. I hope you guys go cop some of those books, or go cop any book. Just go read something. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.